Hey everyone, welcome to week 6 of What Jesus Said, or Jesus Said What? Tonight we are talking about, or today, whenever you're meeting, we're talking about Matthew chapter 5, verse 9. We're talking about the subject of peace. It says this: "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God." Blessed are peacemakers. Look at somebody else in your small group. Look at them. I can't see through the screen, but I really am hoping that you're participating in this. And say peacemaker. Look at somebody around the room. Say peacemaker. The crew here on set, they're looking at each other. Say peacemaker. So we're going to be talking about what it means to be a peacemaker. You see, as Christians, you and I are called to actually go out into the world and to bring something to the table to change the environment everywhere we go to be more Christ-like. That's one of the most amazing things about when Jesus came to the earth. When Jesus came, he didn't just come and offer some teachings and this and that and start a little Christian club kind of thing. When Jesus came, he actually brought change, and he changed every single environment that he walked into, every room he walked into, everywhere he went. He brought change, and he made a difference. And you and I as Christians are called to do that, and everywhere we go to walk in and to change the environment and to make a difference. And one of the ways that you and I are called to, that Jesus is calling us to do that, is to bring peace to situations. That no matter what it is that is going on in our lives, we need to be able to be people that bring peace into a situation. Yes, when it comes to peace, Jesus is the ultimate source of peace, and we must always point people to a life with Jesus. But at the same time, there are things that you and I can do that we are either contributing to a situation to bring peace into that situation, or we're contributing chaos into that situation. And so there's a couple of ways that Jesus really demonstrated that in his life, that he brought peace into the life of others. Because even though you may be having a peaceful life, you may have a peaceful marriage, your career may be pretty peaceful, you may be a pretty chill person, you have a lot of peace in your life, there's people around you that don't have peace. There's people around us in our community, they do not have peace. There's marriages in our community that do not have peace. And even though Jesus came, he literally was the Prince of Peace. When he came, he saw people around him that did not have peace, and he did something where he would go in and he would do an intervention of sorts to then say, you know what, I'm going to do whatever I can to help your situation be peaceful. And you and I need to take the step of saying, I'm going to do whatever it takes to help people around me find peace in their situations. Whether you find someone that their marriage is exposed to domestic violence, and you say, okay, what do I need to do to get involved to help these people out? Or maybe there's people around you that are dealing with financial problems, and you're saying, wow, this friend of mine, because of getting laid off of work or because of this, you know that being broke does not bring peace into your life. And so you can say, wow, this person needs an intervention of sorts. We need to provide for them. And instead of saying, Jesus, would you please provide for this person? Maybe Jesus is calling you to say, be a peacemaker in their life and say, hey, I'm going to help bring a little bit of peace in your life by helping you this month with your rent. Or I'm going to help you come over and you're not physically able to shovel the snow out of your driveway. You know what? I'm going to help you do that. How can I actually be someone that alleviates stress, that alleviates anxiety in the lives of people around me by getting involved in their life? Jesus fed the hungry. Jesus healed the sick. Jesus comforted those that were brokenhearted. When people were scared, he was there to comfort them. That Jesus was an active part in helping people around him. And we don't want to just be the third party that says, Jesus, would you help them? But to say, I'm going to be Christian. I'm going to be a little Jesus. I'm going to help this person. And then the last way that I think you and I can be peacemakers that is quite controversial comes from Matthew chapter 5. It says this: you have heard it was said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. That was a saying in that day. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be the sons of your Father who is in heaven. For he makes the sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. Then our world, we live in a time where there's a lot of, what would the word be? I guess you could say conflict, and a lot of people that have differing point of views. And there's a lot of things in our lives that cause all kinds of chaos and the opposite of peace. And you and I have the opportunity to confront things like offense, to confront things like, being disrespected. We come into a situation where those things are being thrown at us, and it says, the people that hate you, the people that are persecuting you, how are you going to respond to that? And our gut feeling, our emotional reaction is, you hit me, I'm gonna hit you back harder, right? I mean, that's human nature, right? It starts off, I work with junior hires. It's at the age of 12, this one is running rampant, right? You hit me in the stomach, I'm gonna hit you in the face, right? It's this idea of, you say a mean thing to me, I'm gonna say something even meaner to you on social media. It's like this idea of, I'm just gonna one-up you all of the time. But the problem is, we're not being peacemakers in that situation. When someone does something to us and we just regurgitate back to them whatever they did to us, we're not causing peace, we're causing more chaos. And instead, what the Bible is calling us to do is to be peacemakers. And this reminds me of something that happened at Compassion Week this past summer with our students when we were out serving in the community. One of our groups was in Bremerton serving, and they were there working at Olive Crest, redoing one of their transitional houses. And this man off the street, incredibly intoxicated, came up and started yelling at one of our students. And the student that he chose, I don't know why he chose the student that he chose, but the student that he chose out of all of the kids that are there, all the kids, are 14, 15, kind of scrawny kids that are there. The student that he chose to pick on is our one student that was there that is about 6'5", 350 pounds. Okay, that's the student he chooses to come up, and this student's actually much larger than the man is. And he begins to yell in his face. He even threw some trash in his direction, all this stuff, and is yelling at him. And all of the leaders' thing is just, oh, please don't hit this guy. We're thinking in our minds, don't be a teenager and just smack this guy. In the time that it took the youth pastor that was on site to get over there and, de-escalate the situation. And I remember talking to the student afterwards and saying, hey, what was going through your mind? Like, what? Why didn't you react, sort of thing? And he thought, man, if I would have reacted, that situation would have been completely different. Because what happened basically is youth pastor went up to him and said, hey, man, we're doing this. You need to get out of here. I'm going to call the cops. Guy went away. But I thought about how horrible of a situation would it have been if that student would have said, you know what, this guy's offending me. He's yelling at me. I'm going to knock his lights out. You know what, I'm going to try and engage him. I'm going to try and do something. That wouldn't have been a situation that brought peace. That would have been absolutely horrible, and I would have been calling parents the rest of the afternoon, right? That saying, wow, this could have escalated into this amazing thing, but instead, because this student chose wisdom and chose to say, I'm not going to engage in this, I'm going to be a peacemaker, he brought peace to the situation. And you and I, in every single situation, have the opportunity to say, am I going to engage with this chaos, or am I going to be somebody that brings peace into this chaos? And Jesus is the kind of person that brought peace into the chaos. So I encourage you, no matter what situation you're in, no matter what situation the people are in around you, how can you bring peace into your life and into the life of others? Be a peacemaker. And so I hope that you have a great discussion today or tonight, whenever it is that you're meeting with your small group.